thought it was over. You thought the loss, the pain, and the closed doors were the final chapter of your life. But what if this is only the beginning of something greater? Stay with us till the end, because today's story may bring you the hope you need right now. In a small town, there lived a woman named Grace. She owned a tiny bakery on the corner of the market street. Every morning, the sweet smell of fresh bread filled the air. People loved her shop. Children smiled when they saw her cakes, and travelers always stopped by for her warm pastries. Grace was happy. She worked hard every day and dreamed of growing her bakery into something bigger one day. But one cold winter night, disaster came. A fire started in the building next door. The flames spread quickly through the street. People ran with buckets of water, shouting and trying to stop it. But by morning, Grace's bakery was gone. Only ashes, broken wood, and smoke remained. Grace stood there in silence. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "It's over." Days passed. Grace stopped baking. She stayed inside her room, heartbroken and hopeless. The dream she had built for years was gone in one night. Then one evening, an old woman from the town knocked on her door. She handed Grace a small bag of flour and said, "Your shop may be gone, but your gift is still alive." Grace looked down and said, "I have nothing left." The old woman smiled gently. "Then maybe now God can give you something better." Those words stayed in Grace's heart. The next morning, Grace borrowed a small oven from a neighbor. She baked 6 loaves of bread and carried them to the market herself. They sold out in minutes. The next day, she baked 12, then 20. Soon, people from nearby villages came to buy her bread. Her story inspired them, and her baking became more popular than ever before. Months later, a wealthy traveler who loved her bread offered to help her open a new bakery. This time, it was bigger, brighter, and more beautiful than the first one. On opening day, Grace stood at the door with tears in her eyes. Then she realized something powerful. If the fire had never happened, she would still be in the small bakery, never knowing how far her gift could go. What she thought was the end was actually the beginning. Friends, life is often the same for us. Sometimes things break. Sometimes dreams fall apart. Sometimes we lose what we love most. And in those painful moments, we think it's over. But God sees what we cannot see. He knows the blessing behind the pain. He knows the new door behind the closed one. He knows your best chapter may come after your hardest season. So if life feels broken right now, don't give up. Don't lose faith, because you thought it was over. But God's best is still coming.